Hello everyone. So I'll be today talking about the questions I receive from my postgraduates most often. Um, let's today talk about DNB exam, okay? So how to prepare for DNB pathology theory exam. So we all know that theory exams you have 4 question papers, right? For 3 hours, and the papers earlier they used to be 2 question papers in a day. Now the current format is of 4 consecutive days of question papers. The format is also changed to now only you get one sheet, one question answer sheet, and you have designated pages for each individual question, and you have to write within those sheets. You don't get extra sheets, and um, you're supposed to write the important points. Okay, so the difference between MD and DNB exam is huge in that way that you have to write the keywords in DNB exam. Okay, so important thing is you put the keywords and you put the keywords in flowcharts, diagrams, as many as possible. Okay, so you get 10 questions. Every individual question has multiple parts, and you have to answer all the parts, because if you forget to write answer about one part, obviously you will not get any marks for that. Okay, so you have 10 questions and you divide your time accordingly. So what I would suggest, I usually suggest my students is that for each 10 questions you have already designated answer sheet pages. Okay, so you start with the questions which you know very well. First of all, you just make the flowcharts in all the answers, right, so that you don't miss out theoretically. So like supposedly we are talking about paper number 1, which is generally general path, and in general path supposedly they're asking you a questions about like septic shock, right? So you start with the causes, then you start with the pathophysiology, and you have a very good diagrammatic presentation of septic shock in your textbooks in Robbins, right? Try to make the whole diagram at first, then you can write something theoretically, because in exam obviously there is not going to be just one part. The question would be described as what are enumerate the causes of septic shock, what is the pathophysiology, and then give some examples or whatever, right? 3 parts, so you have to answer all 3 parts separately. So that way you will complete one question. I would suggest you have 3 hours, right? So in 3 hours I would always suggest you last 15 minutes you always keep for revision, and likewise you divide your time. You give 8 to 10 minutes per question, and if you don't know the answer, you don't waste your time on that particular question, because the paper is very lengthy. Okay, you move on to the next question. Okay, so if I'm right by my calculations, you have 3 hours. 3 hours into 60, you have 180 minutes, you have 10 questions. So if you invest 10 minutes per question, and you need some time to read the question also, right? So you have adequate time to formulate your answers and write good answers. Okay, so and I would always suggest that don't feel and don't panic if you don't know all the answers. Okay, you have 10 questions, nobody is going to get 100 out of 100. Some, yes, extraordinary students might do very well. DNB, we have a distinction students also, right? Don't panic. You go through the questions you know first, dedicate at least 10 minutes per question, and then you can always come back when you have time for the remaining questions. Don't leave any answer empty. I would never suggest that you leave your sheet empty. You write in the question paper whatever you remember. Okay, and there is no point in writing stories in DNB exam, because nobody gives you marks if the answer key has if your answer does not has the specific keyword, right? So you have to study very well for that. So this is what the question paper, how to go about it. You have 3 hours and you try to dedicate 10 minutes each, and keep 15 minutes for revision. For that you don't, if your facts are wrong, if your mutations are wrong, something you feel like that you can change, maybe you have missed some part of the question. This happens. This happens most of the time, that you're reading the question and you're in a hurry and you miss one part of the question paper. So obviously you can, in last 15 minutes you can write that part. So you have 4 question papers. One is your general pathology, then you have paper number 2, which is your systemic path. Okay, so you have to read about all the systems, and in third paper you have the hematology, and in the fourth you have recent advances. Okay, where you are asked about the techniques and molecular biology and all. You have the recent questions. So you have to prepare accordingly. So this is short video which I am telling you about the theoretical part. Individual each question paper we can discuss what to write and how to write. And the most important thing is for GPath, I must say that your textbook has to be Robbins. Okay, so I would say by postgraduate you should be thorough with your Robbins. There is no other book which will give you as much data as Robbins can give you in a concise form, right? So Robbins is going to be your the book. First 12 chapters, every line is important. Like we say, for PMT exams, your NCRT is the must. For postgraduate exams, your Robbins is the must. Okay, so you have to do that. For systemic, I would say you have to prepare from earlier on. You should read neoplasia immunity very well. You should be well versed to complete a systemic with for that, and then you have to individually make notes from your WHO, right? For individual system, like you have to know the classification of tumors, they have to be very well learned, and then individual pathology, pathophysiology. We can go by system in subsequent videos. And for hematology, I would say you can, for hematology, I would say Koathalkar is one book for writing answers. You can have answers from that. You can have notes made from Winthrop's if you start studying, from first year, second year. Winthrop's notes would be really good. You can make some, and all your values in hematology should be from DCs. So if you want to put any standard value, this has to be from the DCs. Okay, and like I said, from the class for the classification, WHO is must. You have to read your WBCs from WHO. Platelets again, you can read from DAC or Kothelkar, whichever you find easy for you. And for RBC part, Bentrov's is the best book, obviously. But if you don't have time, you can read Kothelkar. For answers, I'm saying for building concepts, obviously you need your teachers, you need your residents, you need your professors, and you need all sort of books you need to read, and you have to actually see the cases, right? You have to see all the cases, you have to see the peripheral smears, you have to see the bone marrows, you have to see the biopsies, you have to see the flows practically to understand everything. Writing an exam and dealing with patients in real life are two different things. Obviously, the exam builds your foundation, but yes, practice makes you better. Okay, and for paper 4, I would say always be updated with your journal clubs, with your subject seminars, and recent updates. You can follow Pathology Outlines is one of the very good online platform available for fact checks, right? And whatever new is happening in current affairs, you can always Google things. So RA, I would say you can do from there, and some parts they are repeated from previous previous questions, and you can read from the recent advances book available, but everything is available in it. So part 4 is mostly like that. Okay, so all the best for the students who are preparing for DNB pathology postgraduate exam, and we can cover more in the subsequent subsequent videos. Thank you.